Hi, everyone jumping on. We're going to give it just a couple minutes to give participants time to hop on the call. Give it just another minute in case anybody else is trying to hop in, and then we'll get started. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining the Surefire Summit. My name is Claire Taylor. I am the Business Development Representative here at Surefire CRM. And today's session, we will be focusing on what is your client retention strategy. And joining me today, I have John Hardesty, who is our Partnership Manager over at Surefire. Hi, John. And also have very excited to welcome our special guest, Scott Fouser, who is the Chief Revenue Officer of Househappy. Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. And Scott, to get started, we just wanted to give you a few minutes to tell our viewers a little more about yourself and give an overview of what Househappy is all about.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate that. So I'm a lifetime, adult lifetime entrepreneur in the real estate space and real estate technology now. I've owned a bunch of real estate, and that's kind of the genesis behind the company, which was, this is an investment, and we owned about 2 million square feet of investment properties across the US. And everything that we did when we bought a property, the first thing that we did is understand what the physical plant looked like, and then manage that asset to, maximize the value of it, extend the life of the physical components, manage it like a real investment. And so when we decided that we wanted to do this for our homeowner customers, it was like, let's help them really manage the largest investment that they have. And so we created this platform around simplifying the process for owning and operating a home, and then also to keep loan officers, real estate agents, contractors all top of mind with their customers, so they can keep coming back forever and ever.
Awesome, thank you for that. And let's jump right into borrower engagement and retention. Very important part of the process and having a successful business. Now more than ever, that having our engagement and retention center aligned is important. So let's go ahead and dive deeper into this for our viewers. And John, I'm going to start with you.
Sure. Well, before I dive in, obviously, Scott, thanks for joining us again, man. It's good to see you. You guys are such a fantastic group over at Househappy, and love our partnership together and what it can do as it relates to retention. So thanks again for being here. I'm going to tackle engagement in 3 phases, right? And we talk about this a lot at Surefire. You get your lead and process and post-close. And actually, Scott, we were talking about a week ago, and we were talking about Househappy and Surefire. And we started at, what's your post-close retention? And you kind of caught me in my tracks and said, I think Househappy is a retention period tool, regardless of where they're at. So I'm going to dive in with that in mind. I think at when you're running through the home buying process, you're starting out as a lead, right? And the most important thing from a loan officer's perspective is you're educating the borrower at that point, right? So your retention strategy is you're going to be an expert. You're going to make sure that they're taken care of during the biggest really purchase of their life. And Surefire has a ton of tools to do that. Most importantly, we want to simplify that for you, right? So we're going to simplify the communication process, give you all those interactives and calculators. And as I'm transitioning now into the in-process phase during those loan milestones, the biggest thing about retention is you want to be that expert. You want to keep them informed, and that's where all of our automation comes into play. And you want to be that expert. You want to answer those questions, but as we move into post-close retention, and that's the biggest thing coming off the refi boom, moving to a purchase market, is what are we doing to gain that business again, whether it's 1, 2, 5 years down the road? And how are you going to be remembered as a loan officer, right? You educated them, you were transparent during the process, but where are you going to land up to get that business back? And I think it comes down to a strategy, right? How are you approaching closing gifts? What kind of technology are you putting in place to track what they're doing, right? Well, we had spoken with our friends at Monitor Base earlier today about always monitoring credit data and et cetera. But I think Househappy specifically, and Scott, feel free to jump in here. We have our retention center at Surefire where we're automating closing gifts, cutting boards, birthday cards, et cetera. But as it relates to retention, you can get so creative and innovative with how you approach it. And I think Househappy is a tool like that. And I think typical automating your closing gifts is another way to do it. Just my initial thoughts.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. And I think I would take it one step further in that I believe that customer retention strategy really begins before they're even a customer. It's, what is your brand image? What's your brand message? So as they start to engage with you, as they learn about you, how they find you, it's like, what's your brand message? Is it transactional in nature, or is it relational in nature? Mm-hmm. Is it about the loan, or is it about their home? Because what we found over the past couple of years is that more and more people, while a loan is important, they don't care specifically about the loan. They care about the loan to the extent that it gets them their home, right? Obviously pricing matters, but it's the means to the end, and if they want to get their home. So we're seeing a movement really more towards, is it about the loan, or is it about the journey? It's really about the journey. And we're seeing movement towards that, which is, being known as the person to think about for the home, connect them with that mentally with the home versus just the loan piece, to simplify their life, to be a valuable resource, to be a resource throughout the entire ownership cycle. So, the reality of it is your engagement at the front end is short. Your engagement during the transaction is short, and that time in between is massive. And so that's the piece that, that retention piece that you're talking about is just so critical. And that's where we add value in really every stage of the relationship. Mm-hmm. But that's where we started. And I certainly can dig into, some of that other stuff, but I don't want to cut you off.
No. And to be honest, Scott, I would love for you to use a quick, I was a deep dive, but what you guys do as it relates to retention is so important. I know you touched on a high level, but I'd love for you to just take a little deeper step to show what can Househappy provide when an LO closes a deal, let's say, and they hand your toolkit to a borrower. What does that do, and how can that help in your retention efforts?
Yeah, for sure. I'd be happy to. So, I think when we talk about what Househappy is, it's probably as important to know what we are not, because there's some preconceived ideas of what people who live in our ecosystem do. And people go, oh, you're like this, or you're like that. And we're literally not like any of them. We believe that there are people who play in similar channels in what we do, but none of them do it in a 360 method the way that we do it. So we don't sell leads. So one of the things that we did is because of our relationship with our lenders and our real estate agents and the people who provide our service to their customers, they pay us to do that, right? So we have to focus 100% on making sure the homeowner has an amazing experience at every stage. And so, like I said, if we don't sell leads, because if there's somebody who needs to buy a lead, chances are good they're not the cream of the crop, because those guys are all busy, right? And so we want to make sure that we have the right people providing the right services at the right time to the homeowner. So we not only do, we're not a referral service. That's another piece. It's like, oh, you just connect the dots or you put up a list, and we're not that either. So when somebody needs something done at their home, we facilitate it through a concierge type experience. So it's probably worth going in, I guess, a little bit about, what it is. So what Househappy does, it provides like a personalized portal for each homeowner. So it's a branded portal that says, Bob Smith with XYZ Mortgage at the top of the account. And so every time they log into their account, they're going to see that name, that brand. They're going to see their home. They can manage all of their homes. If they've got a rental, if they have their personal home, if they have a second home, they can manage them all on their dashboard. It allows them to order services, to track their equity. It allows them to budget and prepare for expenses. So as I mentioned in my earlier intro statement, it was, there's a life expectancy of every component of your house. And what a lot of people don't think about is, they've been living in this house for 5 years, and their water heater, when they bought it, was 7 years old. So now it's 12 years old, and it's sitting in an upstairs closet, and it could pop and cause all kinds of damage. And so what we do is we try to engage that homeowner in a way that really changes their user experience of their house, that gets them thinking proactively and preventatively, so that they're running their home the way they should. And if they're a DIYer, then they can use that as a checklist. It's like, I'm going to use them to do this and this. I can find all my filters, and I can find all my, all the different things that I need for my house. And it's going to remind me regularly through our service reminders. They're all branded with the loan officer on them. And so it's a really cool, engaging tool that allows the homeowner to manage their home, and frankly, gives them some freedom of time. Because if you have a catastrophic event like a water leak or God forbid a fire or something like that, that's all bad. And what we want to be able to do is help them prevent that kind of thing, stay on top of it. However they want to use our service, it's there for them. Again, DIY, it'll store all your contacts of who your plumbers are, who your care team is. We once a customer is happy with a plumber, for example, that's the plumber for that house now. And so until they're not happy with them anymore, and if they aren't happy with them, we become their advocate to resolve it. And so it's a very, very different user experience that again owns the relationship through the entire cycle. It can be used at the prospect level. So you just meet somebody at a Starbucks or whatever, and you give them your card and you trade information, and you go, hey, this is something that we do for all of our customers. And while you're still in your house and while you're shopping and whatever, use this application to simplify things for you. And then that gets them in the flow of our communication flow. And then, that reduces the risk of them choosing somebody else as they shop for their solution for their loan. It'll allow them to, in the prospect side, you can prepare the home for sale. So we have, again, our concierge team will, whether you need a painter, a plumber, electrician, will facilitate all of that. And then they can then, in the transaction side, we can help them, again, manage any repairs that come up through the sale. We recently had a scenario where there was a delay in closing for 2 weeks because there was a pest control issue that couldn't be resolved for another 2 weeks. And one of the loan officers that was using our platform said, hey, I've got this problem. Can you help us? And we had it fixed in 24 hours. And so that made that loan officer a hero to the real estate agent that sent them the deal, and it made him a hero to their borrower. So it's can be a really, really nice tool to have in your toolkit. And then again, during the transaction, you can help them move from one place to the other. So we will set up cable, internet, security, we'll hang TVs and clean carpets and change the locks all before you move in. And again, having that as a resource is so valuable and so differentiating from a loan officer's perspective. That's how you start to capture that customer for life experience, right? It starts at the beginning, goes through the transaction, and then what it is post-close is it helps them stay on top of their house, right? It keeps them engaged with their home. Every time they look at it, every time they see it, they check their equity, they see their home values updated. All of those communications always keep that loan officer top of mind. So it simplifies repairs, it tracks the equity, it helps them plan and budget. Anyway, it's a really robust tool that I'm very, very proud of.
And we're talking about retention. It's like, holy cow, like how the amount of things you can do. And I like that you brought it up because we're big fans, obviously, in the mortgage marketing space of branding, right? Everything we send out, whether it's an email, postcard, a closing gift, it's going to be branded to the LO to drive retention. So I think that's such a crucial part, is that even if they're if they open that app, 3 years after close, they're going to see, Claire Taylor's name on there from XYZ Mortgage, and the likelihood that they're going to remember Claire in that moment and maybe even go back and refi with her down the road is your odds are only better doing it that way.
We see it all the time. I mean, people who got their accounts 4 or 5 years ago, and maybe, because people don't need stuff done at their house every month, right? So they're going to get their service reminders. They'll get the reminders that they have to do things around their house, and maybe they'll take action and create their to-do list and manage their home on their own. And then they'll get something and goes, oh yeah, I need that done. I saw this reminder that came out like 6 months ago. Maybe I should be thinking about that now too. And then again, they just have this conversation with their loan officer or with their concierge about the things they need for their home. And this is where it gets really interesting from an actionable item perspective, is they could have a conversation with their concierge that says, I'm getting my house ready for sale. I'm thinking about selling it. I need to get my paint done and I need to get my yard spruced up. And we now know that they're in the market. They're going to be doing something with their house. So we send alerts to the loan officers and the sponsors that this is what's happening. You might want to reach out to your client. And so you get notifications when services are ordered. You get notifications when they want to update a home valuation, they're checking their home value, or there's a lot of things that we engage the sponsor with about activities that the homeowner is doing. So it's insightful as well.
Yeah, and I'll just throw one last plug on this too, is that you can also use Surefire to be your engine to get out Househappy link to sign up. You can automate that. The integration's already there, right? We're going to push you data that you need to start a subscription, but the fact that you can use the automation and leg engine of Surefire to even automate that, that last milestone to send it out, man. I mean, it's working for you. Right.
Yeah.
You're not having to do it yourself. So
yeah,
it's a powerful part of the integration.
Yeah. So we create a URL for each sponsor that they can embed in every part of their communication flow. If it's congratulations, you've been pre-approved, or hey, it's been a little while since we talked, use this application to, keep track and manage your house. All those things can be obviously embedded right into your Surefire protocols. But then the other part is once it closes, you guys automatically send us, assuming, the sponsor says, I want you to do this, but they'll automatically send us the information that we need to create the account. So it's a set and forget 100%. It's so easy.
Awesome. Well, you guys just went on an awesome tangent there. So much great information. And I guess, John, all I wanted to ask you, and you pretty much touched on this, but moving into a purchase marketplace, why is borrower retention and borrower engagement so important? And John, if you have anything else to add on that.
Yeah, I mean, from our end, there's no doubt that we've been flooded the last year with refi opportunities, and coming right in that wanted to refinance, and it was easier. But now, as you build strategies and ways to go about marketing to your contact database, and with the lens of retention, you have to think outside of the box of ways to get your brand, which I love that you brought that up, Scott, in front of these people. And whether it's, Househappy, whether it's Client for Life program that we offer here at Surefire, it's just crucial. It's crucial. And you're going to have to go find business now instead of just getting it, right from the refi boom of 2020.
Yeah.
Thank you. Scott, you have anything? Yeah. I
just have a couple more points about, because I know people are listening in here. It's like, coverage where we serve the entire United States. We have, we vet every pro, because again, we have to make sure that we're providing this really robust experience for the homeowner. Every pro has to go through a background check. We use a company called +1, which is national service that does, criminal background checks, licensing, insurance, all that stuff is managed through our system. And they don't pay a premium, so there's no charges to the homeowner. All they pay for is when they order a service. They don't pay a premium for that. There's no upcharge for it. And again, we're not charging for leads. From a pro's perspective, and these are questions that we asked all the time, is there an upcharge? Is there a premium? Is there any kelp on the bow to get something executed? And there's not. We charge a simple booking fee that's based on success. So they pay us 19 whole dollars to complete a job, or when they complete a job. So most of these guys are used to paying for, even 20, 30, 50, $100 for a single lead that they may or may not get. And so this is really just that $19 really just covers some transactional costs on our end. I think those are probably the biggest things that we hear about. And then, when we're done here, I've got some contact info that I can share with you on my screen if you want, as far as how to get more information. And we also created some Surefire related discounts if anybody wants to use them for the next couple of weeks.
We'll certainly be sending all this information out. We do have a partner page on our website for Househappy, so feel free to check it out there as well. But no, I mean, Scott, and not trying to steal your thunder here, Claire, but
take it away.
Scott, I'm really excited with the times we're walking into the theme of this event, right? I think there's no better time to link up what you're doing from a lead and process post-close to adding an additional item like this, and wherever you're at, however you want to use it, really. I think it's a great time that our partnership is alive and well. Absolutely. Yeah,
really excited about it.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us today. Great discussion. Love the banter, you guys. Great conversation. And we are so happy to everybody who's joined us today for all of our sessions and for this one with Househappy, and to all of our other partner networks. Make sure you're taking advantage of those great integrations. Thank you to my co-host, John. Thank you for everything you did today, and everyone who took the time to join us for the informational sessions, and to our partners. If you have any questions or are interested in learning more, again, you can contact us at sales@topofmind.com. And as John said, we'll be getting all the information for the discounts and everything Scott mentioned to you if you're interested. Everybody, thank you for joining us, and thanks for joining the Surefire Summit.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Bye.
See you guys.
Take care.